Chapter 1 Crush by Eve Ainsworth. I met him on the 2nd of May. It's not like I could have ever forgotten that date. It was my brother's 10th birthday. It was also the day that I started counselling at school. I didn't want to go, not really. I was suspicious of the small room at the back of the main building, the room with the smiley face sticker on the door. Jeez, it was so primary school. Only the kids with problems went in there, the screw-ups, the ones who sobbed in class because they couldn't cope, those types. Not me, never me. Didn't they know I hated talking? I slumped in the thick leather chair and tried hard not to look at the woman in front of me. She told me her name was Debbie, Debs for short. She held out a small white hand, which I ignored. She didn't seem to mind. She did a soft laugh thing and sat back in her own seat like she was so relaxed and chilled out about the whole thing. I kept looking at her shoes. Pointy, red high heels. Expensive, I reckoned. Probably designer. She talked for a bit about counselling, about her, about the school. I muttered stuff back just to fill the gaps. I didn't like the silences. They unnerved me. Made me more aware that she was busy looking at me, trying to figure me out. I glanced at her, noticing how carefully made up her face was. She was pretty, in an old sort of way. She had lines around her mouth and saggy cheeks, makeup couldn't hide that. Is there anything you want to talk about, Anna? Her voice was soft and sweet, like sugary candy floss, her words hanging uselessly between us. I could almost picture them in mid-air, sticky and light, waiting for me to taste them, accept them. But I never did, of course. I continued to sit and stare at my hands. They were folded neatly in my lap, pale and small, almost lost in the folds of my school skirt. I decided I hated her eyes. They creeped me out. They were too small, too blue, like a rabbit's. I imagined her nibbling on a carrot, still staring at me, waiting for me to answer. I can't help it if you don't talk to me, she sighed. A burst of sharp air. It didn't help that the room was really enclosed, like the inside of a shoebox. It was painted light grey. Above her head was a painting. Pink and yellow swirls, looking like a weird bent out of shape wheels someone's dug up dream. There was only a tiny window, a small slice of light which seemed to cut her legs in half. I shuffled a little. The seat, although it looked soft at first, was actually really uncomfortable. My bum was feeling heavy and numb. There was no clock in here, but I was sure we must be near the end of school. This couldn't drag on forever. She sighed again, pushing out a loose strand of blonde hair behind her ears, a bit that managed to escape her tightly pulled ponytail. Otherwise, every inch of her was controlled and managed. She rustled through the folder, then sat on her lap. The notes set told her everything about me, or at least she thought they did. Can you at least tell me a little bit about your dad, she said. How are things at home? Now it's just you and him and your brother, isn't it? Yes, I said bluntly. And you get on okay? I shrugged. Fine, it's fine. I flicked my eyes away from her, hating this so much. And your mum? No. My hands clenched, fingernails gripping the skin. No, not her. I don't talk about her. Okay, no problem. Maybe that's something we can touch on another time, she said. I nod. Or maybe not. You understand why I wanted to talk to you, though? I guess. You were referred to me by your form tutor. She worries that you've been more upset than usual. Very quiet in class. Distracted, maybe? I felt myself burning. I needed to get out of here. The room was too small. My legs were buzzing with the stress from sitting still. Outside the sun was streaming. I wanted to be there, in the air, not talking. I remembered the times in lesson where I felt so wound up, for nothing really. I pictured myself slamming my hand against the wall and yelling out in frustration. I'd never done it, but I'd wanted to, a lot. Sometimes, I said. Well, obviously the school were concerned enough to refer you. They seem to think you might be struggling a bit. Do you think that's true? Sometimes, I said again. It's nothing to be frightened of, Anna. I'm not the bad guy here. I just want to try and help. I nodded. I stared at her eyes again, brighter now, more pressing. I wanted to sort out some of the bad stuff inside of me, feelings that swirled around me like a negative storm. If she helped with that, I would be happy, just nothing else. I wasn't up for talking. She smiled. That's good then. Obviously this is totally voluntary. If you're not up for it, well, that's fine. I'm not. It's just, well, if you ever want to talk about things, stuff about your mum, for example. I rolled my eyes. How thick was she? It's normal to miss her, she said. I don't. I can understand why you might feel angry towards her. I stood up then. I didn't mean to, but her words were hammering into my head, hitting old bruises. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. I want to go now, I said. As if on cue, the bell sounded, my signal to leave. Deb stared up, her cool eyes unblinking. I understand. Maybe you're not ready. I just don't need to talk about it. Just so you know, you can always talk to me. I don't need to, I said again. Was she thick or deaf? Everyone needs someone. I picked up my bag and turned. I felt sluggish, like I needed to sleep. The room was killing me, sapping every inch of me. But Anna, she said, sitting forward and handing me a small card. I'm here for you, when you're ready for me. Maybe we can meet every week or so, just to see how things are going. If you don't want to get into stuff, that's fine. Maybe, I muttered. I walked out, not bothering to turn back. I didn't go home, not straight away. My head was beginning to ache. I needed to walk, get some space. So I kept moving, swung out of the school gates and turned down the main road. I knew Dad wanted me home one time. I should have been there blowing up balloons for Eddie, making a big fuss of my stupid brother. I think I did start out heading that way, but something made me walk straight past the bus stop. I just kept walking further out of town and towards the swamp. My iPod earbuds were rammed deep into my ears. Music was blasting into me. I guess I knew I couldn't go home yet. I wasn't ready. If I went home in a worse mood than normal, things would be bad. The swamp is a poor excuse for a lake that sits on the other side of town. The name swamp pretty much suits it. The water is made of mushy mud and stanky reeds. I think I may have seen a fish once, maybe twice. Eddie always says there are buddies in the bottom, maybe some jewels. I think that's unlikely. It's just trash, old cans and rusty pieces of metal. Sometimes it's quiet, other times there are other kids there, swinging on a rope from the large looming trees or fishing for junk in the dark waters. It's somewhere to go, I guess, someplace to be. When I go there, I sit at the furthest spot by a broken-down weeping willow tree, which is not as much weeping as full-on wailing. I think someone must have hacked at the bark once, because it's pretty cut up on one side. Next to it is a stump of another fallen tree. It's a good place to chill. Usually I play music and stare into the swirling mud. I try not to think too much. I want to be able to de-stress, but sometimes my head is so full up I end up churning everything around, pulling apart the little bits of my life and analysing them, wondering how I could change them, how I could escape. That day I was thinking about Debs, about her beady eyes and shiny red shoes. I was thinking about the small card that I shoved into my pocket. My thoughts fluttered to Dad and Eddie at home, getting his party ready. I could picture Dad stressing over the food, not getting things right. I felt myself squirm. I knew I should be there. Hey! I jumped instinctively. It was a loud shout. I tugged out my headphones and turned, irritated and embarrassed at being caught sitting there like some sad loner. I expected some kid to be standing there, someone annoying, someone looking for my attention, but it wasn't. It was Will Bennett from Year 11, who had never even looked in my direction before, and he was holding my purse. I stared at it open-mouthed, and then reached inside my pocket. It had gone, and I hadn't realised. "Looking for this?" he said, groaning at me. I swear, I didn't even know how to answer. I mean, it was so weird that he was actually standing there, right in front of me, let alone holding my purse. This wasn't just any guy. This was the guy every girl at school wanted to be with. I tried to gather myself a bit, feeling queasy inside. I didn't want to look like some uncool freak all jittery in front of him. He was smiling at me in his casual, sexy way. I was trying not to look at him full on, but it was very hard not to. I didn't want him to know that I was like everyone else. I didn't want him to know that he had any effect on me. He was only inches away, tall and slim. His cheeks and jaw were so well defined that they had been carved or sculpted. His hair blonde, ice shot against his pale skin. He made me think of ice. "Do you want it then?" he said, offering me the purse. "I found it outside the school gates and saw your lunch card in it." I felt my cheeks burn. That picture was awful. "Thank you," I said, taking the purse and brushing his hands as I did. It was weird. The hype around him annoyed me a bit, and he was almost too good looking. But being this close was unnerving. I felt so, well, shy, stupid. "It's a cute picture," he said. I laughed then. "Liar, I look awful." "Did you miss the bus? Is that why you came here?" He looked concerned. I stared up at his face, at the light blue eyes that seemed to sparkle even when he was being serious. "Not exactly," I said, sitting down again. "I just wanted to waste some time, that's all. It's my brother's birthday today. I'm not sure I can face it." "Party? Sounds cool." I shook my head. "It'll be far from cool. My brother is 10 and a total freak. My dad thinks he's Mr. Wonderful though, so I should be there, whether I want to be or not." Will laughed. I liked the sound. It was deep and honest. I found myself relaxing. I looked at him again, at his hands, long and slim, at his slender nose, at his lips, cold and not too plump. "Can I sit with you a bit? Maybe walk you back to the bus stop when you're ready?" he asked. "I don't like leaving you on your own. There's some total nutters around, you know." "Sure." I tried to sound casual, but my heart was beating over time. I was 2 years younger than him. I was nothing. Why was he bothered about me? He sat on the grass opposite me, his legs drawn up in front of him. "So what happens at these parties?" he asked me. He was sitting quite close. In fact, our legs were almost touching. "What happens? Well, my brother will invite his stupid, annoying mates. They'll be quite hyper, stupid, and well, just weird. My dad will make loads of fuss over him, and I'll hide in my room waiting for it to all be over. Sounds fun." "Yeah, it's great fun." I shook my head. "Seriously, it's like the worst kind of hell." "Where would you rather be? Anywhere? In a van of rats?" he asked. "Any day." I laughed. He laughed too. "Actually, I'm glad you dropped your purse," he said softly. "It gave me the chance to come and speak to you." I could feel myself glowing. Then a thought dawned on me. "How did you know where I would be?" "I followed you here." "Hey, that sounds a bit weird, like I'm a stalker or something." "I'm not. I just saw you drop the purse, and saw it was a good time to, I don't know, try and talk." He shifted slightly, pushed his hair back away from his face. "I hope you don't mind." "No, I guess not." My stomach was somersaulting inside me. I thought maybe you'd be waiting for a bus, and maybe we could chat then, he said. Hey, this sounds so lame. I just think you're really cute. Cute? I think my voice cracked a bit, so naff. Yeah, you are, honestly. I giggled then. I couldn't help it. Most days I hated the way I looked. Actually, make that every day. Don't laugh, I mean it. You're really fit. His eyes like droplets of light were gazing straight into me. It sounded so stupid, but I was softening, melting towards him. How could this have happened so quickly? This wasn't like me. Stuff like this didn't happen. My day, my life had suddenly improved. I know you get confused, so this is from Will's perspective. It's strange this, talking to you, but they reckon it will help. They say it will help me deal with stuff. It's worth trying, isn't it? She said. She told me that counsellor woman to pick a person, any person who I wanted to talk to. I told her no one. She said there must be someone that I have things to say to. She said I can talk aloud, all right. I didn't even have to send it anywhere. I can just screw it up and throw it away, or burn it, whatever. So I thought, what the hell, it's worth a shot. It might get this crap out my head. I picked you because, I don't know, I just picked you. They said I might need help. I don't think so. I'm just getting stressed you're not here, that's all. You got away. Everything has changed now, but you wouldn't know that, would you? You don't even realise what you caused. I'm angry because of you, because of Mum flipping out again, because of all of it. I feel it through my body, like all the switches have been turned on. It buzzes through me like an electric current. I guess I feel more alive, more aware of stuff. Most days Mum struggles to get out of bed. I can't even talk to her. It's not allowed. We have to whisper, treat her like a fragile piece of, what, junk. You wouldn't have put up with it, would you? Then again, I'm sure she wasn't half as bad around you. You don't know the half of it. I could slap Mum round the face and she'd take it, suck it up. She always does. I just want to yell in her pale, stupid face. So yeah, I'm stressed. What's new? Will. End of chapter 1.